It is Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We're joined by Chen. He is a trustee with the Mount San Antonio Community College District, Mount SAC, but he is also involved with the Little Tokyo Regional Connector Council. Is that what it's called?
Yes, the Leadership Council.
Perfect. So I want to explain. I live on the west side of Los Angeles, and I took the subway to get to Irwindale, which is where we are today. So I had to take the Expo line,
Right.
which took me to the Red Line, where I changed, got onto the Red Line, and then went a few stops to get to the Gold Line to get me here.
Right.
That was fine, but a little cumbersome.
Right.
It may change soon?
It will change.
Tell me.
So the regional connector is going to make it possible for you to take one train from Pasadena, or actually Altadena, all the way down to Long Beach.
Okay.
Or take a train from Santa Monica all the way to, I guess it's Monterey Park, where it ends right now. So your trip, where you had to do 2 transfers, will be down to just 1 transfer.
So it will be Expo to Gold.
Right. And that's going to happen at Little Tokyo.
Yeah, tell us about that. That's very exciting.
Yeah, so Little Tokyo right now, there's a huge excavation going on, a huge hole in the ground, and recently they just dropped the first components of the tunnel boring machine inside. So I was at that ceremony.
Oh, how was that?
It was great.
Yeah.
And they named the tunnel boring machine Angeli.
So
a play off of Los Angeles.
Got it.
And it was a competition among students in the area, and that was the name that was chosen.
And so what's going to happen? Now these lines will be able to come into Little Tokyo.
Right.
And as a result, we won't need that bridge, the Red Line Bridge, I
Right.
guess. So the boring's occurring. Do we have a sense as to when we can expect this? Is it going to be a new line?
It's going to be a new line just within downtown LA that'll
see.
connect a couple of the existing lines.
Is there a color or a name, or do
They
we know
haven't
yet?
decided yet. I don't know if they're going to keep the same colors
I understand.
or change the names.
So when's it going to open? That's really. Do we know?
It's going to take a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
But by the end of the decade, hopefully? Are we feeling?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
By the end of the decade, it should be good.
And what do you think this will do for Little Tokyo, as well as kind of the downtown area generally, and then the greater region as well?
I think it's going to be fantastic for Little Tokyo. Right now, Little Tokyo is bearing the brunt of the construction. A lot of businesses are suffering, but they have set up a business interruption fund to help out businesses.
Okay.
So they've been very, very cognizant of the impact, and that's one of the roles I play on the council, is to make sure that they're represented. But once it's done, this will be the new center for transit. You know, right now it's Union Station, but Union Station is kind of to the north.
And not a lot there.
No.
I mean, Alvaro Street, which is kind of fun, but not much more. And Little Tokyo has all those great restaurants and stuff. And so
it's not just Little Tokyo, it's the Arts District as well. So it's going to serve that community, which is just exploding.
Okay, so these are exciting times indeed. I'm not really sure how this happened, but Chen, who is a member of the Mount SAC Community College District, got invited to go to Israel by the Jewish Federation of Los Angeles. How does that happen?
I got very lucky.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I happen to know some really great people.
Right.
And they do these trips to Israel for, they do birthright trips.
Right.
They do.
Well, birthright is for Jewish North Americans who want to go to Israel, and there's no charge for these under 26-year-olds.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal. But this is different.
This is different.
Yeah.
This is for community leaders. All of us, except for one, we're not Jewish.
Okay.
But we hold different positions in
I presume you're not
government.
a Jewish American.
I'm not a Jewish American. But yeah, so it was a wide variety of folks who came. People who work in city government, at UCLA, LA Community College, and it was just to expose us to Israel.
Yeah, so talk to us about that. Why did you decide to go? And then I want to hear more about the trip. I mean, look, Israel, obviously there's an attraction to it. It's, the center of 3 great religions, but it's a small country. There's only 7 million people. What was the attraction for you?
Well, Israel is an amazing country, and it reminds me a great deal of Taiwan.
Where I have been, and I love Taiwan, as you know.
Yeah.
Tell me.
I mean, really great food, but they're kind of very innovative countries.
Right, yeah.
And there's so much technology that we use day to day that has come from Israel.
I actually was watching some news report that said on the NASDAQ, the number one nation for companies is the U.S., then China, and then Israel.
Right.
Before like Great Britain and Germany and all these other places.
Yeah.
Right.
So for it to develop so much, it's incredible. And also like Taiwan, it's surrounded by people that don't really like it.
Right, yes.
So
well
there's always
stated.
a constant threat.
Right.
So just understanding that environment. And
Right.
Israel, the Middle East, is always in the news. And if you can go there and experience it firsthand, that's always
So
always
tell me
best.
about the trip. Where did you go? Were you in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv? Did you go to any of the Palestinian areas, the
Right.
West Bank? I
Yeah.
know you can't go to Gaza anymore, but
Right.
Tell us about it.
We started off in Jerusalem.
Okay.
And we got to see, all the sites that the tourists see. It was very in-depth. And we also went to the Golan Heights.
So the Golan Heights, that's Israel. That's
It's still Israel.
yeah, right.
I guess it's used to be part of Syria.
Right.
And we got to the border of Syria. We could see the smoke
You're kidding.
coming from Syria.
Oh my God,
It
because
was
of the
incredible.
Civil War.
Right.
Right.
We can really feel it. But what was amazing was right up to the fence, there was a kibbutz that was growing agriculture. I mean, they were growing amazing fruits and things
Right.
up to the fence, and they were employing all sorts of technology to make sure that they were secure. And whenever they went to go harvest, they would need the IDF to go with them to make sure that they were okay. But most of the fighting is, it's in Syria.
But
it's
still,
not really,
but you can see it, like you said.
yeah, you can definitely see it.
What about Tel Aviv? Did you make it to
We
Tel Aviv?
went to Tel Aviv, and that's a city that does not sleep.
And it is amazing. I have been to Tel Aviv, and what's remarkable to me about this city is, Jerusalem is so historic.
Right.
The buildings are thousands of years old, whereas Tel Aviv, good grief, it's a modern city.
It sprouted from the desert.
Right, with skyscrapers and a beautiful beach.
Yeah.
Did you have a chance to interact with Israelis, Israeli government leaders?
We did.
Tell me about that.
We met with one of the chief negotiators for the Israeli government, who was in charge of the Israeli-Palestinian discussions. We met academics.
Okay.
We met local elected officials. So we saw, we met Ethiopian Jews as well.
Right.
So we really got to see the diversity within Israel. We did get to go to Bethlehem.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I'd love to hear how it was to travel to the Palestinian territories.
Right.
Because, they're right there. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
Talk to us about going there.
So, so much of Israel is still desert.
Right.
When you drive through, you just see expanses of desert. And it's definitely noticeable. You see the security wall, and then you'll see settlements on the other side. And the unfortunate thing is when we were there, it was a Muslim holiday, so we were not able to meet with Palestinian authority
So you
leaders.
did you meet with any Palestinians on
one
your
of our
trip?
one of our tour guides was a Palestinian. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
He was a great tour guide. He took us through Bethlehem, showed us all the important sites. Oh, we also met some youth.
Palestinian youth.
Palestinian youth.
Okay.
And we talked about how certain communities have just been kind of arbitrarily divided.
Right.
Palestinian communities have been divided by a wall, and you can have cousins and living on either side of the
Reminds me of
fence.
Berlin, kind of
Yeah.
East and West Berlin.
So it's a very sad situation for a lot of the Palestinians. But the one thing I also felt that surprised me was I never felt that there was an overburdening sense of security. I thought going there you would see machine guns, people, soldiers everywhere. You see the wall, but you never had this sense of, too much security as opposed to like Latin America when I go. You get that sense.
Fascinating. What an enlightening trip. I'm glad you had a chance to go there. You'll be back on our program, of course.
Yes.
His name is Chen. He is a member of the Mount San Antonio Community College District. My name is Brad Pomerance in the San Gabriel Valley, Charter Local Edition.